feel like, man, whatever you do wrong must come back around in a circle. Just like you know what I'm talking about? If you did wrong and everybody know it's blatant, the truth is out in the open. You sent that type of energy towards the Young Dolph way, and you got no Young Dolph knocked off. I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who set the whole supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder up.
Had my life back.
What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me just about what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back, you know.
Y'all, it looks like CMG is officially falling apart right in front of us. For years, people whispered about cracks in Yo Gotti's empire, but now, those whispers just turned into full-on alarms. Stan G, one of the most tapped-in voices out of Memphis, went on No Jumper and basically said out loud what everyone's been too scared to say: Yo Gotti might actually take out his own artist, Youngsta, and that's not coming from trolls online. This is someone who's been face-to-face with the streets, someone who's interviewed the same people tied to Young Dolph's case. So if Stan G is saying this, it's not just drama, it's a serious warning. When Stan G sat down on No Jumper, he didn't hold back at all. He came right out and said it. The same energy Yo Gotti put on Young Dolph is what got him killed. And if Gotti could go that far with an enemy, what makes anyone think he wouldn't do the same to somebody in his own camp if things got messy? Stan G basically called Youngsta a sendout. The guy Gotti would push to do the reckless stuff, the beefs, the wild videos that other rappers wouldn't even touch. At first, it kept CMG buzzing, but now with the Dolph case still hanging heavy, Stan G said that same role makes Youngsta look less like an asset and more like a liability. And in Gotti's world, liabilities don't last long.
When I put out a story, the other day I put out a story, Young Mob had ended up catching a Rico, you know what I'm talking about, and I put out a story. An hour later, the news ran the same story.
The way fans saw it, this wasn't just some random history lesson. Stan G was putting out a straight-up warning. His message was clear: watch your back. He even reminded everyone that what you put out always comes back around. And right now, with how Gotti moves, Youngsta's so-called loyalty might be the very thing that puts him in danger. Here's where things really start to look shaky. For a long time, CMG was on top. Yo Gotti had the roster everybody wanted. Moneybag Yo was running it up. Youngsta kept the label in headlines with his antics, and then Glorilla came in and blew up almost overnight. From the outside, they looked like family, winning together, backing each other up, no problems in sight. But recently, that picture doesn't match anymore. Moneybag's buzz slowed down, Youngsta doesn't have the same energy, and Gotti seems focused only on Glorilla. And even she's under a lot of pressure, because right now, she's the only one really carrying the label. Instead of family goals, it feels more like, who's actually safe here?
Well, hell, at this point, because you lost all the his last artist is Glorilla. She doing crazy because he putting a crazy bag behind Glorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So Glorilla, she gonna shine regardless right now. But when he go over there and dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere he go to, like the Fed watching it. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy over there, that boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close right now.
Then, Youngsta started taking CMG out of his bio, posting captions that looked like shots, and right after that, Stan G stepped in with his warning. That's when people stopped laughing it off as trolling. It started looking like something real was going on. Fans are noticing it too. CMG doesn't look tight like before. Every post looks shady, every move feels off, and all that talk about loyalty just doesn't hit the same. And to really understand why things are so tense between Yo Gotti and Youngsta, you have to look back at Young Dolph. That's where all of this started. Years ago, Gotti wanted to sign Dolph, but Dolph turned him down. From that moment, everything changed. Gotti didn't just move on, he started blocking Dolph, trying to slow down his career. But instead of stopping him, it only pushed Dolph to shine even more. That's when the beef turned serious. Diss tracks, public shots, and real street tension came with it. And Youngsta? He was right there on the front line. He wasn't just rapping, he was pulling up in neighborhoods, posting wild videos, and doing things most rappers wouldn't even dare to do.
The only reason I didn't do it, like I could have went over there and got with Gotti and got the co-signer and sped my whole process up, but at the same time, I couldn't do it because I had too much of my own money and too much of my own time invested into it. So it wouldn't have made sense for me.
It's business.
You see what I'm saying? And man, it's like, that's Memphis, bro. That town is too small. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, if anything, if he wanted to do something, I wanted to do something, bro, it's like, let's do it. That town is small. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
It's just Memphis one of them cities like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you pay attention, it always been a artist at the city center. I'm the king of Memphis. I'm the king of Memphis. That's why it done been so hard for other artists to pop out and take off, because everybody want to be that I. The big one is just me. You know what I mean? But
Now, at the time, people thought it was just part of his image, but looking back, it was way too reckless. Even Stan G called it federal moves, because Youngsta was putting himself in situations that could only bring heat back on him. So when Dolph was killed in Memphis, all eyes went straight to CMG. Even if nothing was proven against Gotti or Youngsta, the streets already made up their mind. And once people connect your name to something like that, it sticks forever. That's the shadow hanging over CMG right now. And it's also why Black Youngsta doesn't look like an asset anymore. He looks like a reminder of something the label can't get away from. Now, there was a time when Black Youngsta was CMG's wild card. He was the one doing all the crazy stunts, clowning online, showing off stacks of cash, and keeping people talking about the label. Whenever Yo Gotti needed the energy turned up, Youngsta was right there. Fans saw him as loyal, the kind of artist who would ride for the team no matter what.
Hey man, y'all rich tell them bitch what it is, bro.
Wild shit, y'all fly niggas,
Look,
CMG
big
shit, y'all rich niggas, heavy count shit.
Nah, I would never them broke ass. Like, shit. When I was broke, why would I them now they broke? It ain't my fault you broke. You are playing on me. I'm telling my mom you. Ooh, I'm pregnant. Ooh, my shoe just fell out. Ooh, my head just fell out. Ooh.
But Stan G didn't see it that way. In his eyes, Youngsta wasn't just being loyal, he was being used. He called him one of the biggest sendouts in Memphis, basically saying Gotti would send Youngsta to do the risky moves and handle the beefs he didn't want to touch himself. And if you think about it, that matches how things played out. Gotti played the calm boss role, while Youngsta was the one wilding out on camera.
For a long time, see, it's a long story behind Black Youngsta. See, Black Youngsta was hanging with one of Gotti enemies before he got with Gotti.
Okay.
So Black Youngsta is somebody who just jump around for the money. He's just a send out. He one of the biggest send outs from Memphis. They're just keeping it real.
The problem is, that kind of role doesn't last forever. After Dolph's death, those antics stopped looking funny and started looking dangerous. Instead of being CMG's spark, Youngsta became the one carrying all the baggage. Every diss, every graveyard stunt, every reckless move, people tied it to him. And now, he's gone quiet. Stan G even said he's in hide mode because the Dolph case is still hanging over him. To the streets, that makes him look done. And to Gotti, it makes him look like a liability, the type of person who could bring the wrong kind of attention at the worst time. So here's where it gets really obvious something ain't right. Black Youngsta has gone viral more than once for taking CMG out of his bio and claiming he's independent. Every time he does it, fans start speculating like crazy. Usually he ends up back around Gotti, like nothing happened. But this time, it feels different. Right after all the tension, and with Stan G's warning in the air, Youngsta started posting long rants. And these weren't random. He was calling out fake CEOs, fake big homies, and fake brothers, all titles people have used to describe Yo Gotti before. He even said he was done with fake love, fake loyalty, and putting trust in the wrong people. If that ain't a shot, I don't know what is.
I hate things like that, cause bro, it's like, why, if you so gangster, why the f you rapping? Why you ain't out there killing? You need to go do some murders, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're a killer, go kill some shit. You right here on this stage for, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, so many people want to be rappers, and so many people I ain't no rapper, I'm a street. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much bullshit. So I had to wonder to myself, like, what the f am I? You know what I'm saying? All these be lying like, they this and they did. But what, I had to really think like, what am I? And I'm like, I'm not a rapper. Cause I like rapping, but I'm telling my side, but I really like entertaining people.
What really stuck out was how emotional the posts were. Youngsta talked about losing friends, being alone, and knowing he could be touched no matter how much money he had. And you guys, that doesn't sound like someone clowning around, it sounds like somebody who knows he's in danger. And the timing? Too perfect to ignore. Right when fans were already whispering about CMG falling apart, Youngsta himself was basically confirming that not everything is cool behind the scenes. Even if he never says Gotti's name directly, everyone caught the message. Now here's the thing, Yo Gotti has always styled himself as a mob boss. His name comes from John Gotti, and he leans into that image. So when Youngsta called out fake CEOs, Gotti answered with Mafia-coded bars and Jay-Z's Dynasty intro. It was his way of flexing power, a reminder of who calls the shots.
You know you come well regarded. I mean, Sean Jay-Z Carter speaks very highly of you, right? I mean, Steve Stout speaks very highly of you. You know, I can't find a person that says anything bad about Yo Gotti, and they always say how smart you are, how focused you are, and a lot to get into about your business personality and all of that.
And that's what makes this scarier. In a mob-style structure, breaking rank isn't just disrespect, it's betrayal. And betrayal doesn't end clean. If we're being real, everything between Black Youngsta and Yo Gotti really started falling apart after Young Dolph's death. That's when the tension went from whispers to something everyone could see. See, after Dolph was killed, the streets were already pointing fingers at CMG. Gotti Gotti's own brother Big Jook was even picked up and questioned by police. And even more recently, the alleged person who took Dolph out, Govan Hernandez, just got acquitted. And in case you missed it, here's the video.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Hernandez Govan, not guilty in count 2 of the indictment.
It was said more than once as the 45-year-old was acquitted on both counts. Govan was unable to contain his excitement as he embraced his pro bono defense attorneys, but out of view were the supporters of Young Dolph who were hoping Lady Justice would tip in their favor.
So the last thing Gotti needed was somebody from his own camp trolling about it, but that's exactly what Youngsta did. He dropped a video at a gravesite standing next to a headstone with Dolph's last name on it. Then he kept posting wild stuff online, like he couldn't care less what people thought.
Yeah, them didn't let me in. I put some rap they like when they out with their friends. Gang, 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 gang. When we hit your block, we spin again.
To him, it was probably just him being himself, reckless, loyal to CMG, ready to ride no matter what. But to Gotti, it was bad for business. Fans noticed the change. What once looked like loyalty now looked like recklessness that could ruin the label. And from there, the cracks between them became impossible to hide. And as I mentioned earlier, CMG doesn't look as strong as before. Moneybags slowed down, 42 Doug caught legal trouble, and Youngsta's silent. Stan G even said Gotti can't move the way he used to. Too much heat after Dolph's death. The only star still holding weight is Glorilla, but one artist can't keep an empire together, and fans know it. Instead of wondering who's next to blow, everyone's asking who's next to fall out. This is where the fear for Youngsta gets real. As y'all know, Gotti isn't just a rapper, he's connected. Stan G made it clear, Gotti has ties in high places. If he wants somebody's career over, it's over. If he wants legal problems for someone, that can happen too. So when Youngsta shades him online, it's not just rebellion, it's risky. Because in Gotti's world, being a liability isn't just about losing your spot on the label, it could mean losing everything. So let's just say it, if Yo Gotti and Youngsta really go to war, it won't just be music beef. This could get ugly fast. Gotti moves like the president of Memphis. He's got money, influence, and connections that reach way past the studio. If things turn violent, it's not just rappers trading disses. It's families, friends, and whole crews that could get caught in the crossfire. On the flip side, Youngsta isn't the type to just roll over. He's reckless, emotional, and not afraid to say exactly what's on his mind. That makes him unpredictable, and unpredictability mixed with Gotti's boss moves. That's a recipe for disaster. Fans are already bracing themselves. Nobody wants to see another tragedy like what happened with Dolph. But with Youngsta calling out fake CEOs and Stan G literally warning that Gotti could turn on him, the writing on the wall is hard to ignore. If they don't fix this, CMG might not just lose an artist, it could lose its whole legacy. So the question isn't if CMG is falling apart, that's clear. The question is how far Gotti will go to keep control. Because if Stan G is right, Youngsta might be standing on the edge of something much darker than rap beef.